Hey everybody, this is BroncoJuggalo. Not too long back, I watched something on Netflix called Arnold. It was like a 3 or 4 part series, or maybe even 5 part, documenting the life of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And after I did that, I did a top 10 Arnold films. It just got me in the mood to watch Arnold movies. Well, the same can be held true now for this new one they did called SLY, all about Sylvester Stallone. Now, this is not a series, this is a hour and maybe an hour and a half documentary somewhere in there. And it chronicles not the entire life, but a good portion of the life of Sylvester Stallone and his career. And it put me in the mood to watch Sylvester Stallone films. And I've been watching a few. And my buddy and Patreon HORRORMOB member, John Kyle Stanton, asked me, because he really loves Sly, if I would talk about this documentary a little bit and just say a few words. I told him, I said, well, I don't know what to really say about the documentary itself. It's just kind of talking about, Sylvester's life and his career, and he's talking about it himself. And while he's doing it, he's in the process of moving his house, I guess, or they made it look like he was moving his house. And he has some really cool stuff. Yeah, he's really into himself. No, I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying he's got a lot of stuff that reminds him of his movies and things, and who wouldn't? If I was in a lot of those kick-ass films or I did that kind of stuff, who wouldn't have that stuff all over their place? I love the statue he has out and by his pool. It's the statue of Rocky, and it's just beautiful. I wish that I had that kind of stuff. I wish that I had those kind of, achievements that I could make things like that out of it. But, you know, I do want to recommend this documentary. It is on Netflix. It's a lot of fun. It's really insightful, and it really gets into the person that Sly is. For a long time, there was a big misunderstanding, misconception, whatever you want to call it, about Sylvester Stallone, that he was just kind of a meathead, that he couldn't talk very well. And I think it's because of the way he talks, his accent, and, he has kind of the word isn't speech impediment. I don't know what it's called or what it is, but he just, something with his voice. It's just, sometimes it's a little hard to understand everything he says, or at least that's what people say. And I've never thought that. I understand him perfectly. And this is a man who is so talented. Not only is he a great actor, but he's a great writer and a great director as well. He directs a lot of his biggest films. He writes the screenplays, or he fixes the screenplays. He's done movies in all different genres, including horror. When he did the movie Cobra, he practically directed that, even though he's not credited as director. The director was absent on that film the entire time, and Sly basically had to direct it for him. He's done so many great films, some of which had not been the biggest, box office draws, but some of them have been massive. He has created two of the most, well, he didn't create Rambo, but he did the movie, and he brings the character to life, the character of Rambo, but two of the most iconic characters in film history, Rambo and Rocky. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one of those. And it's hard for me personally to pick my favorite. I love Rambo. I love Rocky. In fact, my favorite Rocky movie is part 3, which is funny because most people it's 1 or 2. And then my favorite Rambo movie is First Blood Part 2, which for a lot of people is First Blood. I love First Blood Part 2. I just thought it was more action, but it was also, for me, being the child of a military man at the time and all, I think that one had more of a message that I could understand, being in the 80s, than I could the story of the Vietnam vet coming home, because our military members were treated extremely good when they came home in the 80s and 90s and so on and so forth and going forward. But when they came home at the end of Vietnam, it wasn't the same. And I didn't really understand that until I got older. So the younger me loved First Blood Part 2 even more. And then, but I just love Stallone. I love his films. I'm going to be doing a top 10 Stallone films very soon. I also have a review of Demolition Man coming, which is one of my favorite Stallone movies. That wasn't his biggest draw, but that's okay. I love it. That's all that matters. Guys, I hope you check out this documentary on Netflix called Sly, and also check out the Arnold one as well. Both are extremely brilliant. Love them both. They did extremely well. Good job on them. Sorry, I can't speak today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see y'all later. Peace out.